They were too young to hold swords, too innocent to witness such cruelty and massacre of Karbala. They cried for water and were answered with arrows. They watched their fathers, brothers, and uncles die. The river was near, but not for them. 6-month-old Ali Asghar, alayhi salam, cried with parched lips.
Look upon my army and despair.
This is the story of Karbala, through the eyes of its children. Children whose fathers were lions of Islam. Children who would not live to see their youth. And the children who carried Karbala in their hearts forever.
This was not defeat. This was the beginning.
On the 2nd Muharram, caravan of Imam Hussain alayhi salam reached Karbala and was surrounded by Yazid's army. Ali Akbar ibn Hussain alayhi salam, eldest son of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, the most striking young man in the camp, brave, beautiful, and deeply beloved. It is said that he resembled the Prophet. Imam Hussain alayhi salam once said about him, "Whenever I missed the voice of the Prophet, I would listen to Ali Akbar." When the time came, Ali Akbar alayhi salam stood before his father and said, "Father, allow me to go fight." Imam Hussain alayhi salam looked at his son, then at the battlefield. Imam Hussain alayhi salam gave him permission. And as he rode off, he looked toward the enemy and said, "I am Ali, the son of Hussein ibn Ali. We are the house of the Prophet, and I will not let falsehood reign." Ali Akbar fought valiantly, but the army of Yazid was vast. He was struck with spears, pierced with swords. His blood soaked the earth. He fell. And when Imam Hussain alayhi salam reached him, he placed his son's head in his lap and said, "O son, after you, how will your father bear the weight of sorrow?" He held him until the light faded from Ali Akbar's eyes. The companions of Imam Hussain alayhi salam had been martyred one by one. The camp had grown quieter, smaller, and now a young boy who is only 13, Qasim, son of Imam Hasan alayhi salam, looked into his uncle's eyes and said, "Am I not worthy of martyrdom too?" A heavy silence followed. Imam Hussain alayhi salam looked at his young nephew, a boy barely in his teens. His heart was torn. Imam Hussain embraced him. Tears filled his eyes, but Qasim insisted. And when he was granted permission, he kissed his uncle's hands, tied his turban, and stepped onto the battlefield with a smile. But that smile wasn't childish. It was the smile of one who had finally been granted the honor he had long prayed for. Because to him, as he once said, death in the path of truth is sweeter than honey, and marched out smiling, for he had been waiting for permission. The enemy laughed. A child?
Look upon my army and despair.
But they didn't know he carried the blood of Imam Hasan, the courage of Mawla Ali, and the truth of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam. Qasim fought bravely, slashing, defending, invoking the name of Allah. But he was soon surrounded, and at one point a brutal soldier crushed his head with a sword. As Qasim alayhi salam fell, he cried, "Oh my uncle, help me!" Imam Hussain alayhi salam rushed to him, fought off the attackers, and cradled his broken body in his arms, and brought him back to the tents, his limbs crushed, his face bloodied, but still glowing with the light of martyrdom. The boy whose feet had once run to the lap of his uncle now lay broken in his arms. One more soul had risen to the heavens. And then, two figures not older than 13 years stepped forward, Awn and Muhammad, the sons of Hazrat Zaynab alayha salam. Hazrat Zaynab wrapped Awn and Muhammad in white cloth. She kissed their heads, not knowing if she'd ever see them again. The heat, the swords, the thousands of enemy soldiers, none of it made them hesitate. They walked to the battlefield with no hesitation, but they never returned. And Hazrat Zaynab alayha salam did not scream. She did not cry in front of the enemy. She lifted her hands and said, "Alhamdulillah. Allah honored me with their martyrdom. I do not complain." one after another. The children of Ahlul Bayt walked into the battlefield, not with fear, but with honor burning in their hearts. The sons of Hazrat Fatima, alayha salam, gave their lives, as if every drop of their blood was writing the final truth. In the chaos, finally, Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas, the brother of Imam Hussain, alayhi salam, the lion of Banu Hashim, went to bring water and was martyred before reaching back. Imam Hussain walked back to the tents, his steps heavy, his eyes holding oceans of pain. He looked around at the crying children, the trembling women, and then he heard the soft whimper of his infant. Ali Asghar, just 6 months old. His lips were parched. He had not had a drop of water in 3 days. Imam Hussain alayhi salam looked to the enemy camp. He did not raise a sword, only a child. He cradled his baby in his arms and stepped forward, not to fight. With a broken heart, he said, "If you have no mercy on me, then at least have mercy on this baby. He has committed no sin." The enemy soldiers hesitated. Some looked down in shame. But from among them, a man named Harmala ibn Kahil took aim. Imam Hussain, alayhi salam, shielded the child and said, "Give him water." But what answered was an arrow. Ali Asghar, still in his father's arms, was struck in the neck. The arrow pierced the tender throat of a 6-month-old. The desert froze. The sky did not move. And Imam Hussain alayhi salam stood there. He looked to the heavens and said, "O Allah, bear witness to what they have done to the son of your prophet's household." Then he dug a tiny grave behind the tents and laid his baby to rest with no shroud, no cradle, only the sand of Karbala. He then bid farewell to each, comforting them, though he was the one marching to his martyrdom. He hugged his daughter Sakina, alayha salam, one last time. She clung to his cloak and cried, "Don't go, Baba. Who will protect us after you?" He wiped her tears and whispered in her ear, "Be patient, my daughter." He rode out and raised his voice, "I am the grandson of your prophet. Have you no shame before Allah and his messenger?" But silence answered him. He fights like Hazrat Ali alayhi salam, roars like lion, stands like a mountain. He is struck from all sides, but he does not fall. An arrow hits his chest. A spear pierces his side. Blood pours from his forehead. Still he stands. As swords clashed and the battlefield fell silent, one child remained. A boy no more than 10, Abdullah ibn Hasan, alayhi salam, ran out of the tents barefoot to defend his uncle Hussein. He didn't carry a sword, only love. A soldier from Yazid's army raised his sword to strike Imam Hussain, alayhi salam. At that moment, young Abdullah ibn Hasan threw himself between the attacker and Imam Hussain, alayhi salam. He shouted, "Do not strike my uncle!" Despite his size, he blocked the sword with his bare arm. And the attacker, Bakr ibn Humran, struck him, severing his arm from his body. Abdullah cried out in pain and fell into his uncle's arms. Imam Hussain, alayhi salam, embraced the bleeding boy and said, "Oh, my nephew, be patient. May Allah reunite you with your noble ancestors." Then the same enemy soldier struck the child again and martyred him on the spot. Children had no swords, and yet they fought with dignity. The loyal horse returns to the tents, alone, blood on its saddle. Sakina screams, "Where is my father? Why is his horse crying?" And in sujud, as his forehead touched the sands of Karbala, Shimr ibn Diljawshan approached and struck the final blow. The head of the grandson of the Prophet was severed and raised on a spear. But Karbala's tragedy had not ended. It was only about to take a darker turn. As the sun began to set, the Yazidi soldiers turned toward the tents. They stormed them, looting everything, even from the crying children. They snatched earrings from the ears of girls, too young to understand why they were screaming. They set fire to the tents, and smoke rose into the sky. The women and children of the Prophet's household were barefoot and terrified. Hazrat Zaynab, alayha salam, called out desperately, gathering the children. shielding them from the fire. She looked for her nephew, Imam Zainul Abidin, the only surviving adult male, who lay sick and unconscious on his mat. She threw herself over him to protect him. She was now the leader of the Prophet's household, and the family of the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wa alihi wasallam, was now in chains. They were dragged through the battlefield, past the scattered bodies of their fathers, sons, and brothers, and then paraded from Karbala to Kufa, and from Kufa to Damascus, barefoot, hungry, injured. Bibi Sakina died crying in the prison of Damascus. "Where is my father?" she would whisper in the night. In Yazid's grand court, decorated with gold and pride, the family of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wa alihi wasallam stood in chains. Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam gave a powerful and soul-piercing sermon in Yazid's court in Damascus, despite being chained, weakened, and grief-stricken. Yazid mockingly ordered a speaker to ascend the pulpit and curse. Mullah Ali and Hussein alayhi salam. After the speaker finished, Imam Zainul Abidin rose and said, "O people, whoever knows me, and whoever does not, then know that I am Ali, the son of Hussein, son of Ali ibn Abi Talib and Fatima. I am the son of the one who was slain by the Euphrates unjustly. I am the son of the one whose cloak and turban were stolen. I am the son of the one for whom the angels of the heavens wept. I am the son of Fatima al-Zahra, the chief of the women of paradise. I am the son of Muhammad al-Mustafa, the seal of the prophets. You have killed my father, and taken us as captives, and displayed us as trophies from a war of injustice." The court fell into stunned silence. People began to cry. Even the walls of the palace, it is said, seemed to tremble. Some historians narrate that Yazid panicked and ordered the adhan to interrupt him. When the mu'adhin reached the line, "Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah," Imam Zainul Abidin turned to Yazid and said, "O Yazid, is this prophet your grandfather or mine? If you say yours, you lie. If you say mine, then why did you kill his family?" Yazid was humiliated. His mask had fallen. Imam Zainul Abidin had turned the tide, not with a sword, but with truth, spoken boldly in the court of oppression. After Hazrat Zaynab and Imam Zainul Abidin's powerful sermons, Yazid allowed the family of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wa alihi wasallam to leave and return to Medina to avoid public backlash. Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam was not well, but strong enough to carry the legacy. The children who survived became the historians of Karbala. Their pain was not wasted. It became a lantern for all generations. You will not find them in empires or palaces, but in every tear shed on Ashura. The children of Karbala are gone, but their names echo every time truth is spoken. If you cried for them, share their story. Subscribe to know the religion and keep their legacy alive.
This was not defeat. This was the beginning.